And here we are for another week of Market Structure with Aussie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. What a week. What a week we've had in crypto, hey? But it's not just crypto. It has been the whole market. And we're going to go through a few little things here. You can see I've got a few cryptos there. Happy for you guys and girls to suggest a few pairs if you want to have a look, but we're gonna go through a little bit of the main fours. We're gonna move on to some stocks, and I want to have a look at a couple of pairs on Forex. But before we get any further, we want to have a look at dollar, at our good old DXY. What is it doing? Where is it at? Obviously, we can see the dollar is finally starting to reverse, has taken out all of this liquidity here, which has been quite some time. So we've truly taken out the liquidity, and now the real question is, what reaction are we going to get from the 786 and 886 area? Are we going to potentially slow down, bounce back up, fill this candle, and then push to take downside liquidity? This will be the ideal scenario for stocks, albeit this kind of reversal up here will be painful, but eventually what we want to see is dollar or DXY taking out these lows and continue lower into this kind of high 90s, mid 90s level. So a little bit early now. I'm looking out on a weekly basis. Obviously you can see we are approaching, we've managed to push through the 618, 50% 618, and the next big area we can look at is the 786. So be careful this week. We want to see some sort of dollar reaction or lack of thereof around the 886, especially. A failure of that level would indicate we continue lower, whereas obviously a reversal up tells us that we will likely go back and mitigate this area. So when the dollar goes up, assets, stock, Bitcoin, etc. usually tend to go down. So, but hang on, Aussie, why is the market going down right now and everything's going down? Well, it's a broader conversation that needs to be had about bonds and all that stuff that is happening in the US. But once we clear these really important areas of liquidity for the dollar, we can have a much more in sync market. At the moment the market has been a little bit out of sync, so really hard to predict. And let's get rid of some of these fibs that I was having a look earlier. Let's move on to some crypto. Where are we at with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin has been really you can see I've had this, they're called shift channels. The tool is this one here. Let me find it for you. No, where is it? I always get mixed up. It's not that one. It looks like a pitchfork. That's what it is. It's effectively, it's a pitchfork. I've got it down here, so you can see down here the shift pitchfork. And what we do, we basically take levels of major levels. You can see up and down, and it gives us some channels. So this shift channel I took from this swing low to this swing high. And you can see these green and red levels have really been respected over time. So support, resistance, usually straight. This is a kind of the same, but just obviously going up in the market. And why am I showing you this? Because we are now at a major pitchfork level or support level. You can see it has been holding. This was previously support, then became resistance. Obviously now we're flipping to support. So what do we want to see here in this kind of levels is really and if you have any questions in the chat, please feel free to drop in there. But we want to see some sort of consolidation around this channel here, and then potentially a very quick downside liquidity grab over the last week, and then we want to come and see a range up here, which obviously will give us a nice all-time high. And if you go on a weekly, which is the time frame that I don't know if you've seen, but I've been posting on X as well. This is my personal take on the market, and I'll run you through here, guys and girls, why that is. So
good morning, guys.
Oh, 6 in the house. Hello, mate.
How are you doing?
Good morning, good morning. Beautiful morning over there in Sweden, I hope.
Well, it started snowing just now, like 5 minutes ago,
Man, you're making me jealous. I was
and
looking
it's
at
gray.
I was looking at snow. I was looking at skiing holidays this morning actually.
Yeah, I will actually. I'm going on a small weekend trip.
Oh man, jealous, jealous, jealous. I was just saying, sexy. I was just running through some shift channels, which you can see, obviously. What was that? The big red channels here and the green channels here
Yeah,
have been taken from swing low to swing high, and it's really important level that we are here. We're kind of ranging in this support resistant channel that we formed here, and even before that, we formed here. And where we are now, I think it's really resemblant, and I know a few of us has covered it, of the 2021 cycle. So you can see big impulse up, little consolidation, spike down, absolute doom and gloom in the timeline on X. We are going to go back on a bear market. Everyone was screaming and everyone started selling, and then we proceeded to do another 136% move on the way up, make an all-time high, and
yeah,
then the bear market started. So that's kind of what I think might happen here. Obviously, we don't want to
I
predict.
agree.
Yeah, we don't want to predict the market, right? But we are in this really important level here anyway. So the next few, not just days, but I think a couple of weeks, and to give you guys and girls an idea, so this was from here to here, it was 84 days. So 3 months, call it just shy of 3 months of consolidation. So you can see if this would potentially push us to May, we could be ranging here with a 5-10%. I'm on a weekly time frame here, so everything looks small, but we could potentially be ranging here from where we are currently to this kind of level, and that's a 18 to 20% moves for then potentially and hopefully making a new all-time high. And if we respect this kind of obviously structure and previous structure, I should say, fractals, we should be pushed around June, July, August for potentially then the bear market to happen. But this is obviously a bit of a market macro potential analysis, but the reality is we don't know. But why am I showing this? Why do I want to talk about it? Because this is the time where, just like here it happened, here everyone is telling you we're gonna go in a bear market. Here everyone is telling you it's done, sell everything. Whereas in reality, if you look at a macro level, there's still so much that needs to happen. We just, XRP alone has 17 ETFs filed. There's so much happening now that I think the next few months is really where we're going to see the grow. And by all means, I don't think it's going to be a 136% move. If we do respect these channels somewhat, you can see from low, just say from where we are now to up here, it's a 40 only, and I quote only, 43% move, but that will push us around the 120, 125. So who knows? But I guess the underlying message that I'm trying to convey here to everyone that's listening is don't panic. These are the great times where you stack your main projects, the project that you maybe were starting to DCA a little bit higher. Well, now's the time to really bring down that average cost for those projects. So that's what I'm doing. Rather than just going and focusing on new stuff, I'm trying to refine my entries, and I'm trying to bring down my dollar cost or price that I've paid for some of the coins that I have in my portfolio. We're a little bit at a premium, whereas now we're obviously in discount mode. Sure, we could potentially retrace down into the 70s or even high 60s, but reality is there's more upside from there than there is the downside from here. So if you play the hedge game, it's a really good spot that we are right now here. So don't panic. Use these opportunities as portfolio building, I say. So really important thing, a message that I wanted to show you guys on BTC. And in terms of setups, I'm going to stay away a little bit from leverage. I've got this long potentially set up. I was looking at some scalp. I didn't take it, but and luckily, there you go. It would have been stopped out. This 1 hour potentially, I know I shared it earlier. There is this one candle that could maybe get tapped, but really this will be a better entry on entry 2. So if we are going to play some leverage, I would probably suggest to wait for entry 2, and if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, that's fine. But at this, you can see how tight the stop losses is here. I would rather play safe, because we could very well flash and go into the 3-day channel down here. So anything on leverage right now is quite risky. I feel much safer, and I don't know about you, Sexy, but I feel much safer on portfolio currently, knowing that these entries in the long term, and when I say long term, I don't mean a week, I mean a year, 2 years, 5 years, are going to be entries that we're going to look back and laugh at. So I'm playing more spot personally.
Same. At least on the higher time frames. Like swing trading, we are not in a swing trading market in any type. But we have had some pretty good volatility on the lower time frames. So improving on scalping and such, it's not a bad time.
For sure.
And same, like just learning more in depth price action charts. I mean, what sort of structures you can look at, identify reversals, because you will see a lot of reversals in this market.
That's right. And to Sex's point, actually, team, these are the time where without necessarily having to risk any capital, you can open just on TradingView a paper trading account and start playing on those 15 minutes and 5 minutes and even 1 minute chart if you really want to go nuts. These are fun time, because when there's volatility, of course, price goes up, takes money, goes down, takes money. So it's really quite a fun environment if you know what you're doing, but also it's an extremely risky environment. So if you are new to lower time frames, I'll say just open up a little paper trading account and take some trades and see how your trading style stack up against a volatile market. Personally, I don't necessarily go into the 50 minutes and 30 minutes unless it's like some real clear setup for me. So it's not my style, but by all means, it's a good way to sharpen your tools, I guess, that you have. And yeah, like Greeny said, learn something new, and it doesn't have to be something new entirely. It can be just learn something new time frame, learn a new style of trading, learn something that you haven't done before, and do so without necessarily putting any capital at risk, I say, in these times, because the market is at the moment quite hungry for our liquidity, meaning that it obviously goes and hunts a lot of the stops. You probably saw, Ethereum leveraging and all that. So obviously we're not whales, but we're not the only ones to see things in the market. So be wary of that. So with Bitcoin out of the way, I want to see Ethereum. Ethereum was obviously a long idea that we had. This is a trade that I'm taking out currently. It's a scalp, I think. Yeah, it's going okay. I didn't call it because it's, like I said, it's quite risky. And you can see I've got a DCA zone here. So going on a weekly, what do we see on Ethereum? Obviously, big underperformer of the cycle thus far. Anyway, we barely managed to make a new cycle high, but we are still quite far off from all-time high, which is quite surprising. We don't like that, but ultimately it's so important to understand Ethereum is the key, okay, to altcoins. So unless Ethereum starts to move, we are not going to see a big altcoin. And I know that a few people are going to say Solana and whatnot. Reality is, in order for Solana to win, in order for all the altcoins to win, we need to see Ethereum succeed. Okay, there's not going to be an altcoin season if Ethereum goes to 0. If Ethereum goes back to $400, there's not going to be an altcoin season, because it's going to be doom and gloom everywhere. And the amount of money that Ethereum has, the amount of money that USDC, which is built on Ethereum, has, we need to see some strong reaction from these levels. We are now at a critical level for ETH, okay? So my DCA zone, and I mean, like, I am going to start buying ETH again, which I haven't done since 2021. So I was buying ETH down here, a little bit up here, but I'm going to start buying ETH again. And this is like full portfolio. Between 1400 to 1600 or 1800 where we are now, this is buying territory for me. I'm gonna stack up on ETH, and I'm happy to build a position because I believe strongly, and even though I'm not an ETH maxi by all means, I'd rather be spread evenly between BTC, ETH, SOL, and XRP. I do believe we are going to take out eventually this all-time high. So ETH is at a great spot now. A lot of FUD on the timeline, which is good. That means that you're scaring people off. Price suppression. We've got Vitalik on the timeline, on the news. This is the time that we can really hone in for something that you might not want to necessarily have a high risk. So if you have a high tolerance for risk, then you go in something lower cap. If you have a lower tolerance for risk, which is, I think in this kind of current market, it does make sense to go with something with a percentage of risk a little bit lower. Well, then it makes sense. It is a mega project, of course, with the amount of money in it. It's not BTC, not quite, but it's still a lower risk. Okay, so depending on the portfolio, how you build it, how you structure it, don't fade ETH at these levels. That's, I guess, the important message that I want to try to convey. 1400 to 1900s, it's a good DCA level. And Solana, you can see the magnet came back, has been there for a little bit. We are in a different spot than ETH, and I guess you can see ETH really took out the liquidity, and BTC really also took out obviously that big liquidity there. Whereas Solana, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because that points to an inefficiency, has not taken out that liquidity yet. You can see that, right? It's still there. So I want to see Sol really do a last push down, which would take us to areas that everyone in the Greeny Discord is looking at, potentially coming back and retest this weekly candle around the 107 area between 110, 112 and 103, and even a little bit lower potentially, and even go and fill this week. So these are levels that I'm really looking forward to and for Sol. So give me another push down. Take out these equal lows already on the weekly. Don't make a triple, because if we make a triple equal low, then it's not looking good for the future. Those kind of levels are going to get taken out. So be an efficient market, Sol. Take out that liquidity and start moving up. So that's all we can hope for. And on the daily and a lower time frame, you can see we just keep making lowers. Like, there's no point in, at the moment, making some leverage plays. I think you can win, you can lose. It's such a volatile market. Like this would have been to me, if I was to look at purely from this kind of price action here, this would have been okay, great. This is a great downside liquidity. We're ready to move up, and then we just keep moving down. So really quite risky, and similarly here. So I'm staying away, like I said, leverage for now. So for now, let's just play spot and XRP. XRP, we've got an idea, which is currently active, and the reason why, look at that, it looks like we might just go and grab it. Why did I like this idea? Let's go through it. Obviously, we can see weekly structure was actually here, but you can see on the daily we keep wicking and wicking and wicking into that level, which is the 76 of the whole move up and down. So this is a very important area for XRP, where we are now. Losing this area and starting to close candles on a daily or on a weekly. So if we start making this kind of movement, and we start making lower lows, could easily push us back into the 1.2s and even $1 and potentially even 80 cents. So we don't want to see that. And personally, and this is because my entries, you probably saw them earlier, my entries are around the 30 cents, 35, 40 cents. So I'm still up on XRP a bunch, but the moment we start wicking into this candle and potentially up here, so at 2.7, I'm going to start taking some big profits. I've already taken out about 25% of XRP, and my targets for the cycle, mind you, you can see them. They were $4.50 and $5.50. They were my final targets, these two. I'm not sure we can get there on this cycle, so I'd rather play safe and take another 50% off, leaving me with a 25% bag. If we get up here, great. If not, I'm gonna take another 50% up here, and I'm gonna sleep good at night knowing that I've done some nice X's on my portfolio. And if it does go lower, obviously we're gonna look like geniuses, but in reality, you can see like this was obviously clear manipulation. This is a candle that has got my interest, so $2.50. Give me a little push up in the next few weeks or months, whatever it might be, and I'm gonna start taking profit right here. I don't know what that was. So XRP, why do we have this idea then? Okay, well, the idea is basically starting from a 4-hour. That's how we look at it. You can see the 4-hour liquidity was obviously taken here. Here we tapped it, and here we eventually go under. Okay, so with that in mind, and with that level in mind, we then scale onto the 1 hour, and we can see that the candle that actually took down that downside liquidity, which was equal lows here, was this 1 hour candle. So this 1 hour candle not only goes below here, goes below previous liquidity or equal lows. So this is the candle that I want to see retested. Potentially it's an institutional candle with some open orders, but it was also quite clear, as you can see, I've got marked up here, we forming this channel with downside and upside liquidity. So I was actually prepared to see some sort of grab and this kind of move, but it looks like the market actually just kind of pushing down now. So obviously equal highs there, equal lows there. Give me a 786 of this move, and I'll just clear up a little. So the 786 of this move is here. You can see I've got it marked up here. This is the 1 hour candle, so I want to see some sort of retest and then a push higher, and I will be tagging you guys. So take profits will likely be at a 1-to-1, so something like that, and then there will be another take profit on this wick, and nope, that's the wrong one, and then likely a third up here on this equal low, equal highs, just there, and then obviously we've got the final one, which will be up here. So I'm gonna have 4 take profits on this trade, 25 percent, that is, just to make sure that market doesn't reverse. And if it does, obviously once it hits TP1, we move stop loss at break even, and we cover our entry. So waiting for this XRP area to be hit. I could go, if you guys want, through some other alts. I found it a little bit pointless at the moment, in the sense that everything is kind of down. There's not much movement until BTC specifically starts making moves, and the big four really are not doing much. So everything is looking down at the moment. So I thought, instead of just looking at down charts and getting depressed, we could look at potentially some stocks, and some really good opportunity in stocks at that. So and if you, like I said, if you have anything in the chat that you want me to have a look, I'm happy to. But for now, I'm just going to keep going, and we'll look at some stocks. So Snapchat, I think I spoke about it on the last live. Obviously you can see how down that chart is. Why Snapchat? Snapchat has just released, I think they store, so you can now do kind of ads and stores on Snapchat. So obviously revenue is going to go up big time. There's an earnings coming up relatively soon, next month, and we are now at the lows. Like, we are at very low levels. You can see here, we're playing with 2022 levels, and even close to COVID levels. So this was obviously the COVID candle. We are not far off. So I'm waiting for our last push down. I want to see these equal lows tapped, and then I'm going to play Snapchat. And the way I'm going to play is actually going to be on a option strat. Let's have a look. I'm going to do an option here because I think it pays pretty good. So Snapchat, if we do an option currently, just and mind you, it's not going to be currently because I'm going to wait for the price to go even lower. but if we do an option now and strike price of 10, it's cheap. So if we do an expiry date on January 2026, which is obviously quite a few away, you can do it sooner, but or later even. Obviously, the later you go, the more expensive the option becomes. But for January 2026, it's $169 for an option. And if Snapchat was to come, say, above these highs and potentially tap us here in January 2026, so we're looking at roughly here, we'll make it, where is it, why is it not, what's happening, why is the line not coming up? I want to mark it up for you guys. So January, vertical line, text, and we'll do blue, and we'll do it, that's a big, sorry, I'm pedantic with my lines and my mark level. So January 2026, so if we can get the market to come back to this kind of prices up here by January, which I think is totally doable, you can see it's quite a whiles away, get rid of that. So this kind of movement, take out, oh my gosh, having a shocker here, take out this kind of lows and then start moving higher past here. So 2018 I say is probably my first target, and if we enter now, which we wouldn't, we wait for even cheaper price, $169 option will pay $627, which is very good. But if we move even quicker and we go back into this weekly price action that I have right here, so say the very low 29, call it $30, that $169 option will pay $1,800. So this is how options work. Obviously you're betting against time, and you can take profits at any time, and you need to close the option before the expiry, otherwise you're gonna pay a lot less. But for something like Snapchat, which is only $8 currently and has $169 for an option, it's something that I'm really leaning towards here personally. So just wanted to put on your radar. You can obviously play safe and just go buy the stock if you want. You know, you have brokers anywhere you are in the world, everyone's got different brokers, but for me, I think I'm gonna play an option here. I just want to see a little bit lower. Coca-Cola also has a really good price at the moment. I think someone asked the other day in the stock channel, and I drew up this chart, and looks like we actually started reversing already. I did draw up this DCA zone here, we tapped it and we reversed it. I'm not mad, I would have liked to see this level taken out first. We didn't. We started reversing, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't eventually come back down. So I can't remember who he was, I'm sorry, but if you if you are looking at a Coke still, these are still really good levels. If we start pushing back down, I will say. So just keep an eye on it, and yeah, feel free to tag. Google is also another obviously project that we all know. You can see we've made this real clear liquidity trend line. It's been broken. If we take a low to the high, we are now approaching and fast approaching the 786 886 zone, which is our favorite area to take trades from. So once we go into the 159 to 152, so anywhere in the 150s really for Google, we're a little bit far, with $5 away. I'm gonna be interested, and this is gonna be for me a portfolio play. The only flag, and I'm flagging it, is we could potentially go even lower, break the AS6. So if we don't hold there, then we're in trouble, and go and fill these gaps and fill these equal lows. So there is a possibility for Google to go lower, depending on obviously everything that's happening with stocks at the moment. Stocks are also a risky asset to hold at the moment. But if you look at the big gap that we formed up here, that's eventually going to get filled too. So there is obviously an upside to that. And if we go lower and we end up, you know, filling the 140, then so be it. I'll just add to my position, and eventually, yeah, we'll go and fill that. So keep an eye on Google. Set some alert. I'll put this in the chat. Sorry, in the I talked about it. I think it was the last time, or I can't remember. Maybe it was in the chat. This is an option that I am gonna buy. Actually, probably should buy it tonight because the market is gonna get open. This is Vistra Corp. One of the stocks that Nancy Pelosi owns. She was down something like 150% on this. She's rarely down, so I think at these levels, having clear this daily range, clear liquidity, I want to see some sort of strength from here. And even if it is, you know, just a smaller position, doesn't have to necessarily go and fill this week. Sorry, this imbalance up here. But yeah, I'm inclined to take a little, maybe one contract position there, and punt it. Obviously, you can see there's another fair value gap there. There's a big, you can see it right there. There was entry 2. But yeah, this is something that I did discuss already previously, and I just want to put it back up because I do think this has got a nice little risk to reward from here potentially for Vistra Corp. Okay. And another stock that I've been quite vocal about, obviously on the stock channel, is Coinbase. Coinbase, we have filled major fair value gap or imbalance at the moment. We still have these equal lows down here and this big order block that we can come and mitigate. But you can see, same as we did with Bitcoin, that shift channel is being respected, and we're currently in it. So there is a strong chance that we are going to start reversing anytime now with Coinbase stock or coin, and I've already started adding to my portfolio at this level, and I'm happy to DCA down if it goes lower. Why Coinbase? Well, if you do believe in crypto, you're not just believing in Coinbase. Coinbase is just a face at the moment in the States. This is a stock that to me is basically just like betting on the whole of crypto. It just makes sense. Okay, so if you believe in crypto, it just makes sense. So Coinbase is at good pricing now, obviously forming equal lows. I know the couple of people in the chats already followed and bought, and yeah, I'm happy to buy here, 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 and here. Basically, if we go lower, so be it. And similar to obviously different type of finance, now we're going to PayPal. Oh, sorry, actually, before we move on to Coin, there is one thing that I wanted to flag on Coinbase. Obviously, earnings are a little bit far, but Coinbase did just come out and said that they are going to tokenize their stock. They got given the green light. So what that means is that now you can buy the Coinbase stock. That was meant to be a coin with a C in it. Sorry, I apologize. You can now effectively partake and participate into stock market, American stock market, anywhere in the world. So if you're in any other country, up until now it was really quite hard to participate in the American stock market, but now it's on chain. So having Coinbase as a tokenized asset is going to do a world of good, I think, to this particular stock. So, and it won't be the last. You'll see a lot more of that, I believe. And we move on to PayPal eventually, and PayPal, similar to, you can see on a weekly, we have obviously broken structure. So this was the big high. This was the structure that I wanted to see broken. We definitely did late last year in 2024. We broke structure, and now we are retracing this entire move, and I think this will be eventually something like this, and then we start making our way up. This is obviously my first target. You can see 1618, how convenient, and then the 2618, how convenient in this order block. So PayPal is something that I have on my radar big time. I think we will go as much lower, so maybe within the $65 potentially. come in and mitigate this choppy area with a lot of imbalances. There was imbalances there. They got filled, a big candle. So I'm going to wait a little bit, but we're at 67 now. This thing could run up. We are at the 702, which we discussed a couple of times. This is another, it's not technically a fib area, but it is a smart money reversal area that sometimes happens. So you can see price has already started to slow down. So not again starting to enter or build a position in PayPal at this level. And yeah, you can see, like we just had a look, you know, first targets for me will be on the 150 and second target around the 190, 200. So quite a ways up. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. So last couple that I wanted to talk about obviously was Tesla. How funny that we see all of the FUD, and I saw someone type it in the chat. Feel free to ask anything you have. So how funny in the timeline we see all of the FUD eventually getting resolved with the president buying Tesla and getting it delivered. When we hit the AA6 area and we go and fill precisely a fair value gap, like this is what we mean when we say news is the excuse. Everything that you need to know at a stock level, at a crypto level, at a Forex level is on the charts. Everything else is just noise, okay? Is there to obviously push it a little bit more or a little bit quicker, but ultimately the narrative is the chart. If you trade the chart and you stick to your bias until structure is broken, then you know that this is still a bullish chart, okay? So this is still a bullish chart. We haven't broken any structure here on a daily, and on the weekly we definitely haven't. You can see we still have I'll just get rid of this old when we looked at it a few weeks ago. There you can see we still haven't broken this low. So, and we have another obviously 2 days, but I've got a strong feeling this is a reversal area for Tesla. And buying Tesla today at 230, if it goes back up here to 400, that's a 2x. That's not bad. Obviously you can see how long Tesla has been ranging in this price ages. So we are at a very important level here for Tesla, but when we go high, you know, we tend to obviously reverse, and I think we are going to go and retest those highs on Tesla personally. I don't have any Tesla in my portfolio, which sounds crazy. I have a thesis on Tesla, especially now. I do think it's a fantastic stock. The technology, I do believe in everything that Elon Musk is doing, is genius, but is so reliant on the person himself, Elon Musk, and especially now that he's really quite putting himself out there, you know, corruption and everything. What was to happen if something was to happen to him? What would happen to the stock? You know, what if some crazy guy went out with a gun and just shot them up, the guy? Like, what happens? What happened to the stock? So I don't like to have those kind of really reliant on one person stocks, similar to say Liberty-Fi with Trump and all those. So that's the reason why, my main reason why I don't want to invest in Tesla, but I do think it's a fantastic stock to follow. And last of the stocks is NVDA. Of course, we can't just talk about stocks without talking about NVIDIA. You can see we have now broken this juicy trend line on a weekly that we've done. And of course, what do we do when that happens? We go from the start of it to the high. And we are now at the 5618. Now, we talked about strength of trends in our last recording, which I hope you watched. It was Fibonacci, trends, and harmonics. And if you didn't, please go back onto the channel and have a look. It was the harmonic masterclass with Aussie. We talked about the strength and the importance of Fibonacci. So 50% where we are now is a normal, effectively normal trend. Okay, so market can easily reverse. As we go a little bit lower, the strength obviously weakens. What we want to see is, I personally like the 786 reason is once we get down here, the strength has exhausted its strength, so the bears are likely exhausted, and then we can resume higher. Okay, so giving us a much better risk to reward. Obviously you can, if you don't have any, start a small position here. I don't necessarily like to do that with stock. I like to see some confirmation. My area, and you can see heavy DCA zone here, will be around the $84 for NVDA. Okay, so this is obviously on a weekly. I would expect now, because we are at a very key level, price to potentially stall a bit, and then if my thesis is right, we go back down and we move back up. But if the market decides to go up here, and so be it. We can't win them all, and I am happy to stick to my plan. And you can see it's my bedtime. Next, let's talk about a couple of Forex, and what I mean by a couple, I only have a couple here. We talked about in the chats this beautiful cipher pattern happening on USDJ, which is obviously US dollar against the Japanese yen. We could potentially play a short here, but there's no point. I'm gonna wait for the big dog, which is gonna be the buy somewhere anywhere between this low and this candle here. I'm gonna wait for some lower time frame confirmation. Obviously we want to see structure broken, and then we enter on the retest and off we go. So if you are following my Forex calls, this is something to keep an eye on. We have this daily candle that is going to be of interest. Obviously we have this low down here, and it would make sense because, like we said at the beginning of the call, dollar potentially is going to go up again for a little bit anyway until it reverses back down. So with that bias, it just makes sense for dollar to go up and then go down again. So this will be my short play. So this is effectively, it's a buy to sell move. Okay, so this is what's called a buy to sell. So a nice cipher playing out there. I like it. Put it on your radar. Let's put some alerts, and we'll just wait patiently. And similarly, even though inversely, we can see the dollar now potentially pushing higher. So Euro USD, obviously, euro against the US dollar, if my bias is correct, is going to give us a reversal, and potentially is going to give us a reversal from the 76, which is obviously from down here to down here. You can see I've highlighted it already conveniently right here, just here. And we could potentially tap that 76. So I've called this trade with a stop loss very tight, and I will be calling it again once we hit, if we hit, and if we get stopped out, I'll be calling that again from a better risk to reward area. But for now, that daily candle, you can see right here, it's a nice nice candle for me to keep an eye out. Why is it a nice candle? I mean, if you've been on these calls, you know why that is. You can see it was a nice big push up before a very large drop down, and took out some pretty big liquidity there on the low time frame anyway. So if you go on a 4 hour, there was some nice candle activity there. You can see all this liquidity that we built, we took it out, and then we did a major drop, leaving behind all these imbalances right here, mind you. So that's all left unmitigated, which means it's obviously an area for us to enter, and well, we've got some beautiful equal highs there too. So Euro USD, you can see we just took out that equal highs, and I've got a feeling we are going to start pushing lower now. So it's in a great area now to short. That's pretty much what I had for tonight. I know I didn't cover a whole bunch of crypto because there wasn't really anything exciting for me to cover, aside from Big Four, of course, and giving us some macro. But if you guys have anything in the chat that you want me to cover, or any questions about everything that we just talked about, please go ahead, type away, get yourself off mute. I don't mind, either or. No, I think we're good. Have I lost you? Jimmy, no, okay, you're there. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Just making sure. I can see someone tapping now. Pleasure, Jimmy. Pleasure. Always a pleasure kicking out with you all. Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, then I will love ya and leave ya. And I'll see you guys next week for another session. And feel free to always ask anything in the chats if there's any questions. Or if you're watching this replay on YouTube, make sure to leave a comment down below, please. Just to let me know if there's anything that you want to see or done different. Help me improve, giving you the best content that we can. Catch you another time. See you guys.